अब प्रियांशु बोलो, क्या क्वेरी है?
Hello everyone present here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vaibhav. Yes, Vaibhav.
Okay. Hello
Yes, sir.
everyone present here. I am Vaibhav Nagargoje, member of EDP Slide. On behalf of my whole EDP team, I welcome you all in today's session. It is correctly said that to win in the marketplace, you must first win in the workplace. Today's session, let's start with introducing our workplace, that is Slide Longwall. Slight Longwall Institute of Engineering and Technology is centrally funded technical institute established by Government of India. The lush green beauty of mesmerizing, established with session to act as an international podium for the development and transfer of technical competency in academics and industries as well. We EDP Slide are born with a vision to create leaders who can make a difference in the world that might be as small as pin tip or as big as the universe. Stimulating creativity and solving real world problems to give helping hands to the society is one among the main motives of this EDP Slide. We EDP Slide is a team of young energetic technocrats that are growing day by day. We believe that ambition is the first step to success. The second step is action. So we are very proud today. So we have with us ex-army officer Colonel Arjun Pratap Singh Chaba sir, having vast and empirical knowledge to deal with difficult situations. He is living inspiration to young budding technocrats to handle human emotions, dealing with rough situations and resource management. He has 20 years of experience with Indian Army. At the peak of his career, he led team of 650 plus members at the world's highest battlefield and was director of talent acquisition handling annual targets at 6,500 candidates in Indian Army. Before he starting his further journey in London Business School, Sir received commendation for bravery in 2006. It's my great privilege to welcome you, sir. Welcome you, sir, for today's session.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. It's an honor being here, talking to all of you today, the young,
Same, sir.
developing would-be entrepreneurs of India. And I congratulate you on the journey that you have chosen to embark upon. It's a very, very brave step.
Thank you, sir. Sir, at first I would like to brief the session like at the starting of the session for 15 to 20 minutes, we will be having some standard question from EDP and at the end we will be having question and answers from the audience present in the meeting. Is it okay, sir?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, sir. It's my privilege to talk with you, sir, and very great honor to me.
Thank you. It's the same here. Honored to be talking
Sir,
to all of you today.
yes, sir. So very firstly, I would like to ask you that describe about yourself, like how were you in your childhood and your undergraduate journey. In short, I would say like please share your life journey, sir.
So I was an absolutely normal child, mischievous, naughty, used to get caught for all the wrong things. And that's the way childhood was. I was never too studious. So, in fact, I'm in awe of all of you. You're engineers, I could never pass the exam. So, I was a very average student, scored about 80% in my 10th and about 60% in my 12th. And after my 12th, was selected for NDA, joined NDA and spent about 3+ years there, another year in IMA before getting commissioned into the Indian Artillery in the Indian Army. And then onwards started the journey of being an officer and how life shapes up you for this journey. So different roles. Started off as a small team leader, leading about 50 men. Those 50 men turned into 100 men. Saw some action in Siachen and Kargil. Then did a course in drone flying in Israel. Came back to India, set up the drone infrastructure for the Indian Artillery, for the Indian Army. Mobilized drones, operationalized them. And soon after that, I cleared my examinations for a course which Indian Artillery runs for about a year plus. It's called a long gunnery course, essentially for training senior leaders. Did that course, went for a 3-year tenure in anti-terrorism operations. So 3 years in anti-terrorism operations in Assam and the border of Nagaland. Came back to Punjab to raise a new setup, which was in Jalandhar. It was a brand new unit. Started with one office, one chair, and one person on the first day. And by the time I left that setup after about a year, 2 years, we were a strength of 450 over a sprawling campus of our own. Left that place to handle logistics in Sikkim. Was looking after rations, ammunitions, convoys moving to 18,000 feet, feeding people at 18,000 feet, and finally came back to command the same unit that I had helped raise. So commanded the same men, was given an option of taking the unit to Siachen and to Ladakh, jumped at it, took them to Leh, commanded in Leh for 2 years, and then got posted as director recruiting or talent acquisition to Chennai, where I was looking after 5 states of southern India, post which, rather a year into which, I quit the army and I'm now pursuing a Sloan Masters at the London Business School. So that's my journey.
Sir, it is great to know about your whole journey, as our audience came to know about what are your past achievements and all that. Sir, next thing is like, I want to ask you, what are the different things circulated in your mind when you decided to change your life journey from Indian defense sector to the London Business School?
The last post that I was at was more biased towards policy formulation, strategizing, and it was a desk job. So I was raring to get something which is more challenging, where you have to go out of your way, get onto the ground, meet with people, interact, rather than being confined. I'm a more of an operations man. So making strategy and telling people how to implement it and waiting for results to come was a little bit of a very lazy job for me, which is when I decided that it's time to head out now and do something of my own, or pursue the dreams of, finally starting something of my own later on in life, which is how I ended up in the London Business School. London Business School is, as you know, one of the top 3 schools in the world. So that's how I chose London Business School. God was kind. I cleared the exams and the interviews, came here. And now I'm looking to enrich my experience in the corporate world before I finally decide on doing something of my own.
Great to know, sir. Sir, and what are the 5 things you learned from Indian Army that you think everyone should have in him or her?
5 things from the Indian Army.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
The first is never give up. Okay. Whatever happens, never accept defeat. We used to have this instructor of ours who gave us a run back, which was called Bhadraj. It's a mountain, it's a hill feature which is very close to Dehradun. Some of you who are from that place would probably correlate to it. So the run back is something that you start on day 1 and then you have the whole night. By morning, you are supposed to reach the top of Bhadraj. And it's a team which is doing this run back. By the time we started it, you can, in the evening, you can look up and you can see Bhadraj and it's somewhere there. And you know that, oh, I just need to reach the top of that feature. So you started the run back with the team, 12, 13 people. After a great amount of difficulty, you reach the top and everybody is really exhausted, looking at each other with a lot of confidence. Oh, we finally managed to do it. And then you realize that this was just one step. And Bhadraj is still a long time away. So you start climbing on the second step. And by the time the third step comes is where the instructor again meets you and everybody is gone. There's nobody who's got the mental or physical courage to still climb Bhadraj, which is still looking far away. And it is at this juncture that our instructor told us that this is what is going to happen in life. You are going to meet many troughs, you're going to meet many steps where you will feel like giving up. Please don't give up. And this is what life is going to test you all through about. Finally, obviously, we did Bhadraj. We didn't have any other choice. We reached the top. And that was a lesson that I carried with me throughout my life. Never give up. You are bound to come across failures. So you are bound to meet failure repeatedly in your life. I was an NDA. I wasn't too bright in studies. So in the first term, in the first 6 months, I couldn't strike a balance between academics and the physical rigors of the National Defense Academy. And suddenly I was lagging behind. And I had to do 6 months again. I had to repeat a term. So then that is the time that another good mentor of mine came across and told me that it's how you bounce back from this. Are you going to be a struggler throughout your life? Are you going to struggle to meet your deadlines, your targets all through? Or are you going to take a lesson from this and move on? It's not what failure you've met, at what point of your life, you're going to meet them throughout your life. It is how you tackle that failure and move on. I passed out with streaming colors. I was perfectly fine after that. And today I'm in the London Business School. I hope this is a lesson that all of you can take back. Failures are bound to come. You're all going to meet failures sooner or later. In fact, the sooner you meet them, the better it is for you. The more stronger you will be after that. So that is the second lesson that I learned, that failures are bound to come. The third thing that I learned was to set realistic targets and to keep revising them. So you cannot be fixated on something. If you're fixated on something, not only will you meet a high amount of disappointment or happiness, but you're not going to find anything else to do after that. So keep revising your targets. You set out a goal for something, midway revise it, improve, constantly improve. You've achieved one point of your success. There's so much more to do. There is so much more that you can achieve that the human body, the human mind is capable of. So that is a third thing that Army life taught me. Then another lesson that I learned from the Army was a lesson on honesty. So sooner or later, a dishonest person will get left behind. You will come across a lot of people who will be extra smart. They will try to cut corners. They will try to pull you down. And you will realize that these people will run out of steam eventually. And it is only the honest person who has integrity on his side who's going to continue in life. So fourth lesson is honesty. And I'll give you the last lesson as, we used to have a cross-country session in the National Defense Academy. And before every session, we used to have a lot of seniors who would come from outside and try and pep you up. That it's a long run that you have to run, about 16, 18 kilometers. And it's a competition, 15 Scots are participating in it, vying for the trophy, and everybody's all charged and pepped up. And a lot of people like me are very scared also. What is going to happen? Are we going to win? Are we not going to win? And probably this fear or this anxiety showed up in a couple of our faces. So one of the seniors steps up and told us, listen, it's a very simple thing. You just have to run. Put one step in front of the other step and keep repeating it. That is what you have to do. Don't give up. Keep doing what you've learned. You will finally achieve success. So these are the 5 lessons that I can give you from my Army life.
Sir, it was great to know about your experiences. As it is rightly said that from experience only the young generation will be going on. So, sir, next question is how we can link Indian Army job with an entrepreneurial world. जैसे कि टीम को बिल्ड करना, टीम को मोटिवेट रखना. जब इंडियन आर्मी में कोई न्यू एंट्री होती है तो जो एक्सपीरियंस्ड होते हैं तो उन्हें भी उनके यंग बडिंग को पुशअप करना होता है, उनकी माइंडसेट चेंज करने होते हैं. तो हाउ वी कैन एंटरप्रेन्योर वर्ल्ड में हम कैसे कर पाएंगे उस चीज को?
ओके, सो जैसे आप सारे अभी SLIT में हैं, आप अपना काम सीख रहे हैं, यू आर स्टडिंग, वैसे ही इंडियन आर्मी भी शुरुआत करती है ट्रेनिंग के साथ. एंड आपको इस कदम तैयार बनाती है कि आप आगे जाके इससे बड़े चैलेंजेस जो हैं वो उठा सकें. So you've already covered the first step that is supposed to be done. You're doing your training, you're at a wonderful institute, and you already have your priorities very, very clear in life. उस ट्रेनिंग के बाद ही जब आप कमीशन होते हैं तो इंडियन आर्मी पहले आपको देती है थोड़ा बहुत एक्सपीरियंस। सीधा आपको किसी टीम का इंचार्ज या किसी का इंचार्ज नहीं बना दिया जाता, आपको पहले भेजा जाता है कि जाइए अपने जवानों के साथ रहिए, उनके साथ खाना खाइए, उनके साथ उठिए बैठिए सोइए दौड़िए भागिए, सारा कुछ जो वो कर रहे हैं पहले वो करिए। जब आपको समझ आ जाएगा कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं कैसे करते हैं, तभी आपको मौका मिलेगा उनका टीम लीडर बनने का, तभी आप उनको कमांड कर पाएंगे, और जब आप उनसे बेहतर कर पाएंगे तभी वो आपको इज्जत देंगे, that you are better than them, and that's the way that you will be able to lead them. So I think another simile that all you budding entrepreneurs can take from it is gain a little bit of experience, and once you have that little bit of experience which is available with you, you are good to go. Everybody is not not going the Apple way, so you can't afford to be dropouts and then think that you're going to become millionaires. It doesn't happen that way. Another lesson that I can give all you entrepreneurs is, when we carry out an attack, we say that for every one person that you have to kill, it will take 3 people or 9 people, depending upon what is the circumstances. So for every one person, you require 9 people. And that is what is applicable for you also. You know, you've got an attrition rate of about, I don't know, 50%, more than half the entrepreneurs never make it. And it's up to you to prepare yourself to be that one person who is going to make it. Okay, you are not amongst, you don't have competition from each other, you have competition across the world. You have so many ideas which are developing, budding across the world at the same platform. So prepare yourself for it, and I'm sure you can do wonders after this.
Thank you, sir, for your great experience sharing with us, sir. And now I have a question like, discipline is foundation for success, as we know, and everyone have their own understanding about what discipline actually means. Could you justify a context to this young generation, sir?
Okay. So I want to probably try and give you an example on discipline from my life. We had a test which was called a drill test. Okay. And to do that drill test, to clear it, meant that you could actually leave academy and you could go out in the civil world, watch a movie. For us, it meant watching good people on the streets, pretty faces. So you could step out, and that was एक तरह से जन्नत होता था कि एनडीए से बाहर कदम रखना, एक अच्छी दुनिया को देखना, rather than सारा सेम रगड़ा दिन ब दिन जो चलते जा रहा है. And to clear this test, not only did you have to do drill, but you also had to be checked for your turnout, how you are dressed. And I was reasonably good in drill. I used to be very good. I was pretty confident that I'm going to clear my drill test in the first instance. And when I reached there, and my turnout was also impeccable as per my own standards. So even before I could do the drill, I was chucked out for turnout. And why I was failed was because there were, instead of 6 folds in my turban, there were 5 folds. Oh. So, you know, that is a thing that I learned, that even the slightest of mistakes can actually set you back by a lot. And obviously I learned from it. I finally, even today, you'll find there are 6 folds in my turban. It was a lesson that I carried throughout my life. But then the Ustad told me that it's not a question of passing drill in the first instance. It's a question of getting your discipline correct. And I applied it throughout my life in everything that I came across. Like you very rightly said, discipline sets you up for success. So whether it is the way you study, whether it is the way you dress up, whether it is the way you interact with people, whether it is the way you conduct yourself, whether it's the way you go about planning for your entrepreneurial venture. So whatever you do, discipline lays the foundation of that.
Yes, sir. It was great, sir, about your turban one, and this much we can get set back from that. We could know now. Like, sir, and next question is like, as we are seeing nowadays, challenges are growing in front of Indian Army. Is it possible that Indian Army will collaborate with private startups for the requirements to some extension so that they can be like Atmanirbhar Bharat, which was launched by our PM Modi ji also?
Okay, so now is the best time to be doing what you are doing.
Yes, sir.
And every year, annually, the Indian Army invites a lot of students, a lot of researchers, and a lot of people who are into the entrepreneurial ventures to come understand what are the drawbacks that they are facing and develop solutions for it. So if you are not already doing it, or if your college is not already doing it, maybe you should get in touch with the closest Indian Army headquarters and tie up with them. You can go there. They will be pretty open to showing you what are the drawbacks in the equipment in terms of anything possible that they are facing, and they will love the solutions that you are bringing to them. Yes, it is a very, very steep challenge to meet the financial requirements, because we do not believe in spending too much or splurging on things. So, but it's an excellent platform to get your whatever your venture is started off. So reach across to the Indian Army, the closest headquarters that you have. Tell them that this is what is your background. You have a lot of entrepreneurs who are willing to develop solutions for them, understand what are the drawbacks that they are facing, and come back with solutions.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to add one point here. Our SLITE is having their own NCC group battalion, and any message to them, sir? I hope some members are joining today also with us.
Okay. So the NCC is doing a wonderful job for not just the Indian Army and the 3 services, but also for the nation. And the present government is taking it a step further now by introducing the tour of duty, for which all of you, everybody in the civil, all the students will be welcome to join the army for 3 years. I'm not very sure of what are the exact requirements which are being laid down and how this is going to be rolled out. But it's an excellent opportunity to transform yourself into a well-disciplined, well-groomed person who's committed towards the nation and committed towards its development. And my heartiest congratulations to all of you who are in the NCC. You're doing a wonderful job. There is a sea of a difference that we see when we see a candidate who's from NCC and we see a candidate who has no prior experience. So it's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Thank you, sir, for your motivation. Sir, next question I have is like, any piece of advice would you like to give to the young entrepreneurs to stay focused? Actually, in entrepreneur journey, staying focused is very important. So how we can?
Okay. Well, what I would recommend is, on a piece of paper, write down what you want. Write down what your goal is, and put it in front of your desk, or put it in front of wherever you get up first thing in the morning, or put it in front of where you brush, and every day see it. Slowly build upon that goal. Okay? And when you think that you're about to reach that goal, please revise it, cut it, and think about what you're going to do after that. Okay? So keep reinventing yourself. That is what we used to follow in the army. The minute you enter the unit, you have your goal, which may be ek goli ek dushman, ya hamesha jeet ki or in your context, whatever you want to achieve. So suppose one of you wants to develop a flying car, put a picture of a flying car in front of your desk. Keep yourself focused, watch it every day, and remember that this is what I want to do. There is somebody who's working on teleportation in Japan. So it's a sea of opportunity for you. You can do whatever you want. Set your goal, put it somewhere where you see it every day, and then keep yourself focused onto that goal. Whenever you're about to reach it, improve upon it. You're thinking of a flying car, maybe tomorrow think of adding two exhaust to it, or maybe think of adding solar panels to it, whatever. But keep reinventing your goals as you move on and keep yourself focused onto them.
Thank you, sir, for piece of suggestion to us. And sir, now, how self-satisfaction, self-pleasure will play important role for staying positive throughout our journey.
Okay, all through your journey, as
Yes,
is
sir.
what happens all through everybody else's journey also. You will be constantly challenged by failures and setbacks. So firstly, set small targets for you. Okay, set a small target like tomorrow I'm going to get up and lay my bed, or set a small target for you that I'm going to do a 3-kilometer walk tomorrow. These are targets which you can comfortably achieve. Okay, and then go on to increase your targets. Now it depends upon you what you want to do. If you want to develop some product of yours, say you want to develop a software, so start with a smaller step and then go on to a larger step, or the second step, or the third step. So set out small targets for you which are achievable, which you will be able to comfortably achieve, while not forgetting what your ultimate aim is. And that way you will never get disappointed. You'll always be able to keep yourself motivated.
Thank you, sir. And sir, tell me and our viewers about your proudest moment in your life till now.
Okay. The proudest moment was when I became an officer. So when you become an officer, your parents come down to the Indian Military Academy and they put stars on your shoulders. So that for me was one of my proudest moments. My father was also in the army. So he handed over his cane to me, and that holding that cane and getting the stars put on my shoulders by him was one of the proudest moments of my life.
Yes, sir. Actually, everybody will be never. We will never forget about that proudest moment in that in our life. Like anything will happen, we will be always remembering that proudest moment in the life. Sir, then, how would you handle problems in your life? Always being aggressive all the time, or being sometime calm? Can you suggest us how can one handle difficult situations?
Okay, being aggressive is not going to take you anywhere.
Yes, sir.
So we are not we don't advocate being aggressive all the time. It does not meet any purpose. It's actually going to restrict your thinking, your thought process, your ability to think of solutions. So please drop it. If you are one of the aggressive people, I would recommend get into yoga or get into any such thing that you feel is going to calm you down. Get into one of those counting techniques of 1 to 10, 1 to 100. Keep a ball with you that you can squeeze and take out your annoyance. So that is something that you need to drop. Being calm is required, and it helps you to think out of the box. It helps you to think what is to be done. And whenever we would be faced with any such situation, the first thing that we would think of is why. You know, a lot of people start dwelling upon what has happened. So stop thinking about what has happened. What has happened has happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Start thinking of why it has happened and how it's not going to happen again. Okay, or how it's going to happen better the next time. Sorry, I've got a phone ringing. 1 second, please.
Yes, sir. Sure, 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 sir.
Terribly sorry. So
problem.
that is more important, that you get into the why of it, why an incident has happened, and how you are going to make sure that it's not going to happen again. That is what I would recommend for you to change. Aggression is not the end towards anything. At the same time, by calmness, I would not suggest that you become hermits. You know, एकदम योग निद्रा में नहीं चल जाना है. You have to remain pumped up and motivated and full of josh and energy. That is what is going to carry you to your ventures. But remain calm. Do not be aggressive.
Sir, how much is the importance of Josh in our life?
Oh, it is 100% important. Without Josh, nothing is going to be achieved. And Josh does not mean jumping around and being bubbly and running from one place to another. The Josh has to be here. Okay, you have to be thinking. You have to be active in your mind. I can give you examples of the corporate world. You can pick up any corporate leader. They are all showing Josh as far as their thought process is concerned. Okay, they're all reinventing, especially after this. Everybody is reinventing. So that is Josh. That is the mind is ticking. Okay, and when you put that thought process, when you get it ticking, and when you start implementing those things on ground, that is when magic starts to happen.
Yes, sir. And sir, like any mistake in your life that you wish you could have avoided it?
Lots of mistakes. I wouldn't be human if I didn't make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. All of you are bound to make mistakes, and I can quote an incident to you. We were carrying out an anti-terrorism operation in one of the tea gardens in Assam. We had an input of about 5-6 militants who were hiding there, hardcore militants, and we had been following them for good about 15-20 days. We hadn't slept for about 3-4 nights in a row, running after this team, running after this group that we wanted to get. And finally, we did manage to corner them, and we managed to reach a particular place where we were dead sure that they're hiding. It was a tea garden. We started walking around, searching the whole tea garden. The search carried on the whole evening. The search carried on the whole night. And we finally called off the search in the morning when the sun was about to dawn. We couldn't find them. We lost them. An effort of good about 4-5 days and so many more days and nights of planning went waste. We came back. And later on, we came to know that in the same tea garden where we were searching for them, in those drains which are down below, which carry water, these people hid for the whole night while we walked around all close to them, above them, searching for them the whole night, and we couldn't find them. So it was a failure on our part. We didn't want to carry the search forward into the day. We gave up. We did not think out of the box that somebody could be hiding in those nullies, also in those drains. And that's a lesson that I carried with me throughout my life. Do not give up. Think out of the box and keep at it. You will find success.
Yeah, sir, it was great to know about it. Sir, any one memorable moment in Indian Army? As we can see, there will be many memories that will be created by our young budding soldiers to keep themselves positive all around. So any certain memory?
I think there are lots of them. I don't know which one to choose as being my favorite. There are so many of them. Probably the most memorable moment was when I was getting my setup down from Ladakh, from the glacier, and we took in whatever number of people. We got back exactly the same number, exactly the same lot. So that was a sense of achievement, that we didn't lose any lives, we didn't have any losses. And that was the aim that I had set out for myself, that I don't want to leave anyone behind. We didn't leave anyone behind. And probably that was the most memorable moment. And if I were to ask all of you students to learn something from it, I would recommend look out for each other. Don't leave anyone behind. Some of you may struggle, some of you may do very well. For those who are struggling, pull them along. Don't leave them behind.
Sir, it was good to know about your memorable moment. Sir, now I want to ask, describe your whole journey in a single bit of line. Till from your childhood, coming to graduation and all that, now jumping into Indian Army, then now jumping into London Business School. Whole journey in a single bit of line.
In one line?
Yes, sir.
I would describe my childhood as a lot of fun, disorganized, naughty childhood, and the tenure that I have spent in the army as that of a learning phase. Every day was something new to learn. Every day was a new challenge to overcome, and it was getting to know yourself also more than anything else of what you are capable of. And my present phase of being back into college is again very, very exciting. I'm back to learning, I'm back to books, I'm back to reading case studies and preparing for the next day's class. So again, it's a very exciting, unusual phase. Yeah.
यस सर, मतलब कि ऐसे लगता है ना, जब इतने बड़े पोस्ट पे होते हैं, कर्नल की पोस्ट पे, फिर से हम कॉलेज में आते हैं, तो हाउ वुड यू फील सर लाइक दैट? नाउ यू आर अगेन, यू at the time of colonel post you used to get a lot of respect, but now you are sitting with all the members on the single bench, and how is that moment nurturing you?
Okay. So what I would want you to take back is you are never too big. You become a lieutenant, you have 50 people under you, you think you are a Fanne Khan, you are very big, but there is a captain who's on top of you, who's actually commanding you and commanding about 100 people. And likewise, you become a major, you think you're very big, you've got a company or a battery under you. Soon you become a colonel like I became, and you are commanding about 650 odd people or 450 odd people. And you think that you are very big, but there's a general on top of you. This never finishes. And there is always a step further that you can go. When I thought that I've become a colonel and I've learned everything in life and I know everything about leadership there can possibly be, I landed up at the London Business School and I realized that there is so much more that I have to learn. And there is so much more in life that needs to be learned through so many more people. And my class, my cohort, if I may say so, is about 56 people, some of who are CEOs and some of who are the top shots in their particular fields and who've come to take a lesson in life and take a lesson in leadership. So the learning never stops, and you are never big enough. Okay, so as long as you are aiming to grow, as long as you are aiming to improve, everything is fine. You will keep growing.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words about whole the journey. And sir, now I want to ask just last two questions, and then I will be giving it to all the question and answers for the audience. Last but not least is the sir, like viewers are more curious to know about what program you have involved in London Business School now, currently.
Okay. So I'm doing a Sloan Masters. Sloan is a program which is run by 3 colleges in the world. One is MIT, one is Stanford, and one is the London Business School. The Sloan Masters is meant only for experienced professionals, roughly around 12 to 14 years of experience, and who have something tangible to show in life, some tangible achievement. And it's a 1-year program which is there in the London Business School. I think MIT is a 2-year program. And during this program, they teach you about leadership, about handling larger organizations, about handling people, finances, practically everything. So that is what the Sloan program is all about.
Okay, sir. Good to know about it. Sir, last question from my side is like any piece of advice to inspiring growing generation of India, sir?
India is a very, very young country. Okay, statistically, if you go, the majority of the country in India is from the younger age populations, because of which we are giving so much of emphasis on entrepreneurial developments, on your ventures. There is so much of emphasis which is now on small and medium enterprises and such like things. There is so much that is possible to be done in this world in terms of entrepreneurship, especially in a country like India, which is so diverse, which has so many opportunities, and you can practically do whatever you feel like. Today's India is a developing India, and it is making everything possible. It is doing everything possible to make conditions conducive for entrepreneurs. I mean, more than me, probably you all would be aware of what all is happening in the country right now. So this is the best time. Don't shy away. Go about it in an organized manner, and don't give up on your dreams. You've come to a wonderful program. All of you are part of the EDP. Uh, don't shy away from your dreams. Don't think that you can't do it. You can do it. Just don't give up. And I'm sure all of you will do wonders in life.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your piece of instructions and motivating us to be positive throughout our journey. Now, I will be opening this session for question and answer. Our audience can lively interact with our Colonel, sir. So, yes, questions? Any questions?
We
Sir,
have
we
a
got
question on the chat. Do you want me to take that on?
Okay, sir. I will be reading you for that. मतलब कि मैं read कर देता हूँ आपके लिए.
ठीक है. Otherwise, there's a question
Yes.
that is from Kashish Khemka. Okay. Sorry, there are questions above that also. Whichever way, you can read out the questions and I'll be happy to take them on.
Okay, sir. On my screen now, I am seeing the question from Rahul Bhatnagar.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
Okay, carry on.
Sir, so what is importance for need for achievement as a character entrepreneur in understanding entrepreneurs?
No, I didn't get your question.
So what is
Vaibhav, if
importance
you
of
understood, you can relate to me, please.
Sir, like how much I understood, he's saying what is the most important for a person or individual to be like for what should be his topmost priority in entrepreneur journey.
yeah, right, sir.
Your topmost priority has to be your dreams. Whatever you've set out to achieve, please don't give up on your dreams, and please continue working towards them. You know, you set out something for yourself. Please work towards it. Do not give up. You are going to have a lot of obstacles. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of people who are going to support you. Please don't worry. Everything will fall into place, and eventually people will realize the good that you are doing or the good that you are capable of doing. So don't worry about these things. Just do not give up. Keep at it. There are a lot of avenues available to help you out in terms of support. Please become aware of them, and please tap onto those resources.
Yes, sir. And sir, one more thing I would like to add, like in our India, we see there is lack of proper mentorship to the students. Like there is lack of proper mentors who can help students from time to time. So there is one question from Kashish Khema that is it possible to become successful without mentors? If yes, please suggest how. If not, suggest how to choose mentor in life.
Okay, so firstly, everything is possible.
Yes, sir.
And you can do whatever you like. Even if you're starting out a journey without a mentor, you can do it. There is no questioning it. However, having a mentor makes things a lot easier. It gives you a sounding board. You can talk to that person and you can sound off your ideas. You can take guidance from them. You can practically ask them to help you out along the journey, whichever way you want. And how do you want to go about getting a mentor is up to you. Do you want to reach out to people who are in the same industry as you, who have the same interests as you? Probably find like-minded people and reach across to them on LinkedIn, bounce off your ideas, ask them about guidance about how you should go about it. That is the way you can reach across to a mentor, and that is the way how a mentor can be helpful. However, more than this, I would recommend, other than this, in addition to this, I would recommend also become a mentor for your juniors. So you've got juniors in college, and a lot of them would be struggling. A lot of them would be falling out of college. A lot of them would be giving up on their dreams. And a lot of them, just like you, would be looking for a mentor and would be shy of doing so and would be shy of reaching out. I would recommend that become a mentor also for somebody. And I'm pretty sure if you want, you will be able to find a mentor who will correlate with your ideas, who will connect with your ideas, and will help you out in your journey.
I hope Kashish's answer is being given by sir. Sir, next question I am seeing on my screen is like, what can be top 5 technological innovations that are needed to improve Indian Army?
Right now, the Indian Army is on a very, very steep curve as far as innovations are concerned. So practically everything possible that the Indian Army is operating with is seeing a change, whether it is any particular equipment that you want to get into, whether it is processes, whether it is software. Practically everything is undergoing a change and everything is undergoing an improvement. So I will not be able to set out 5 top things where you can improve. There are maybe 5 million of them. If you get in touch with them, they will give you one key area that is important to one particular aspect which you can change. You know, there's the story of for the want of a nail, the battle was lost. So practically everything in the Indian Army is important. You cannot function without all the pieces in the machinery. You require all of them. So just like that, anything and everything in the Indian Army is important and can be innovated upon. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Any questions, participants? You can interact with sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. First of all, good afternoon, sir. It's our pleasure to meet you. Sir, I am also an entrepreneur and I am working on a spy drone, like for armies. Sir, we know as much we make drone, there is already a anti-drone technology. And we know that the best thing to know about Navy is their information. Somewhere I read, if you have a 100% knowledge about your Navy, you already want 50% to work. So the today's main problem of Indian Army is information. What if we create hibernating drone? Means a drone that hibernate for a year, and it's collect the information about enemy. Is it going to work, sir?
Why won't it work? Everything will work. As long as you can find a way to make it work, it will work. And why not, if you have something which is very small, which can remain undetected for a year and which can gather information for a whole year, and which can come back with that information or which can relay that information back to you, why not? It's absolutely possible.
Sir, I have one more. I need one more information. Sir, how to contact the government so that we are working on? I want to work with this technology for army, or I want to share our idea to government. How is
Okay, so as far as the army is concerned, it periodically invites people to come and show their inventions and to come and help out with the challenges that the army is facing. However, if you have a working solution which is available to you, you can always go to the closest unit which is available to you, the closest army setup which is available to you. You can take your innovation there and you can show it to them, and they will get you to places.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, one more question I am seeing on my screen is like the way you change your journey from army to corporate world. How difficult to convince you with your societies, families, and friends? Because same way we are facing challenges to produce further with and like we are going to go down and do our journey a bit more convincing way.
Okay, so all through your life, you are going to come across people, and a majority of them who are going to think that you're a fool and what you are doing is never going to work and is probably the biggest mistake of your life. This is what you're going to face all through your life, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because you are going to challenge what is the set mindset. Okay, and if you get bogged down by them, if you are going to get bogged down by what people are saying, then there is no way that you can succeed. There was somebody who one day imagined that you will be able to talk on a telephone. People thought he was a fool. There was one day when somebody imagined that a computer would be so small that you could fold it and take it along. People thought he was a fool. And if those people stopped working on their dreams, probably you wouldn't be having a lot of things that you are seeing today. So, and I can tell you for a fact, I am aware of somebody who's developing a flying car, like I said, and I'm aware of a project which is being developed for teleportation of people and things. So there is somebody who is thinking and working towards all these things. If I tell you that probably tomorrow you may develop a technology that makes you invisible or that makes you travel back in time, and if you laugh about it and say that it cannot be done, it will never be done. It's only when you think that it can be done, when you think that you can do it, will you actually be able to do it. Stop thinking about people. I faced a lot of opposition in terms of people telling me that it's a very, very unrealistic step. You're so successful in the army, you're doing well, and why do you want to step out now and change equilibrium? Without changing equilibrium or without breaking inertia, nothing is going to be achievable in life. So break the equilibrium, change the inertia, and you will achieve whatever you set out for.
Sir, one question from out of the box, like something different I will be asking. Like, sir, during this whole pandemic, I can see like 10 to 15% of the whole world is affected due to this COVID. But as we can see that 50 to 60% of the people are mentally affected due to this. How we can bring that mental affection back to the normal one, sir?
I think from whatever news reports I read, India is already back, and there is no COVID in India, is what we see on the televisions. But yes, you are very right. Across the world, a lot of people think that mentally the whole pandemic has affected them more than anything else. And this is a time when you've got to change. It's an ideal opportunity for you to adapt your processes, for you to adapt your businesses, for you to change the way you think, for you to change the way you interact with people, with how you conduct your day-to-day activities, or with how you conduct your businesses. So many businesses are now realizing that all that time that used to be spent on traveling and coming for meetings was a waste. You can do it equally effectively by a Zoom call or by how you and I are interacting now. So there are so many opportunities in this also. So it's upon you, how you take it as an opportunity and how you grow from this.
Yes, sir. On my screen, I am seeing one question that how can you compare Pakistan and China's war condition and our competitors with the real life corporate competitors? Like we have so many entrepreneur corporate, like same startup, there will be 2-3 already startup having that. So how we can overcome them? How we can look for that, sir?
Okay, so firstly, thank you for not calling Pakistan and China enemies and for calling them competitors. We will take them as competitors only. Okay, it's not that they are our sworn enemies and given an opportunity, you want to kill them every second day or you want to wipe them off the map of Earth. Indian culture does not work as per that. We work on the basis of Sarve Santu Nirame. Everybody is equal and everybody has a right to do the best that they want to do with themselves in their lives. So firstly, thank you so much. They are competitors and they are not enemies. And secondly, as far as your question goes on how you want to deal with such competitors in life, I think the best way to deal with some such competitors is to learn from them, is to do better than them, and if possible, to let them grow and improve so that you grow and improve. So tomorrow, if we have a Pakistan which is more stable, which is developing better, you will have an India which is developing and growing better. So that is what I would recommend. Please don't snub your competition. There are so many companies which laughed upon their competition and do not exist any longer. And there are so many companies which took their competition in a positive way and are growing along with them. So take your competition in a good way, in a healthy spirit, grow along with it, learn from it, and do better.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiration. Any more questions?
जय हिंद सर।
Jai Hind.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है सर, मतलब कि सर मैं एसएसबी मैं भी प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ सर, इंडियन मतलब डिफेंस को ज्वाइन करने के लिए सर। तो एसएसबी के लिए सर जो सेकंड डे होता है साइकोलॉजी का टेस्ट होता है, तो उसके लिए सर कुछ टिप्स चाहिए थी सर।
साइकोलॉजी के लिए आपके लिए कोई टिप्स नहीं है मेरे पास। साइकोलॉजी एक ऐसी चीज है जो कि आपका जो एक्चुअल सेल्फ है वो बाहर निकाल के ले आएगा। And it's a very, very extensive procedure. The SSB itself is 4 days, 7 to 7 days. So there is nothing that you can hide. मैं आपको यही recommend करूंगा कि जो भी आपका actual self है उसे बाहर आने दीजिए, उसे छुपाइए मत, कोई और इंसान बनने की कोशिश मत करिए। अगर आप वैभव नगर भोजे हैं तो वैभव ही रहिए, वैभव की जगह कोई और बनने की कोशिश मत करिए। And that is the only way to clear the psychological test. Do not try and fool the system. The system will catch you and it will reject you. Stay the way you are. जैसे आप हैं बहुत अच्छे हैं। आर्मी हर एक को अपने सांचे के अंदर ढाल लेती है और आर्मी ये नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि सारे के सारे रैम्बो आने वाले हैं या सारे के सारे वहां पे सुपरमैन आने वाले हैं। नहीं, आर्मी एक्सपेक्ट करती है कि एक सच्चा इंसान आने वाला है जो कि अपने आप को सच्चाई से पेश करता है, जो कि अपने आप को इम्प्रूव करने की क्षमता रखता है। That is what is required. So that is the only tip that I'll give you for psychological test. Do not try and be somebody else. Be whoever you are.
Sir, we have with us our EDP's overall student advisor, Pawan sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Pawan sir, you can interact with sir.
Okay. Yeah, hello. Am I visible to all of you?
Yes, you are pretty.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you, sir, to joining us, because it's one of my dream to interact with someone who is belonging from like a top MBA colleges community from Harvard, London, INSEAD, or maybe from HEC Paris. And it's my privilege to interact with you, sir. So basically, I have some questions. First of all, जब भी कोई इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन करता है, like someone youth aspirant to joining the Indian Army, then how will it change him or her mindset? कि आपको वॉर के लिए प्रिपेयर होना है या फिर आपको मारना है या मर जाना है, लाइक दैट ऑल द थिंग। मतलब कैसे आप मोटिवेट करते हो? बिकॉज वेन एवर वी आर गोइंग फॉर द सेल्स प्रोफेशन और मार्केटिंग इन अवर कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, देन ऑलवेज वी हैव फॉल डाउन्स। काफी बार क्लाइंट्स प्रोडक्ट नहीं खरीदते या हमारा मार्केटिंग कैंपेन फेल हो जाता है, तब एक अलग ही माइंडसेट सिचुएशन दिमाग में होता है। तब लगता है कि स्टार्टअप को बंद कर दिया जाए या छोड़ दिया जाए। It is the same situation like the war situation. So how will you motivate your team or your junior aspirants to get out from this situation?
Firstly, I think a part of this question I have already answered, but there are some aspects that I would like to bring out. Whenever you have such a situation, the army teaches you never to give up. तो चाहे वो सारागढ़ी की लड़ाई है, अगर आप देखें तो हर इंसान, हर फौजी उसके अंदर, चाहे उसका छोटे से छोटा रोल क्यों ना रहा हो, लास्ट सांस तक लड़ता रहा। और यही फौज आपको सिखाती है कि आपने हार नहीं मानना। अगर आप अकेले भी हैं और आपके सामने 1000 भी हैं तो भी लड़ते रहिए। तो भी अगर जान चली जाए कोई बात नहीं, दैट इज इममटेरियल, बट समवेयर टुवर्ड्स अ लार्जर कॉज यू विल बी एबल टू कंट्रीब्यूट। And that is a lesson that you need to take away from the Indian Army. Do not give up ever. Keep doing your best. You will eventually achieve whatever you have set out for. The rest of it is, I've spoken about. Keep yourself organized, keep yourself focused, and all these things are there that you can learn from the army.
And so the last question, what do you select, war or peace, or war after peace, in comparison with real corporate world, when you are your own competitors in real corporate world?
A lot of people think that war is a means to peace. So war or peace in singularity or in themselves are processes which are aimed towards an ultimate goal. So war in itself is no solution. War in itself is no end, and it is not going to achieve. If you are taking war as an end, it is not going to achieve anything. And finally, for what are you fighting? You fighting for peace, and so that's why
Okay.
I would
It's
say
really
peace any time.
incredible and amazing answer from your side. It's completely unexpected from you, and hence maybe you are in the London Business School now. That's a really salute from my side to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Vaibhav, is there anything from you?
No, no, no. Now I will be signing off. Thank you, sir, for taking your time and motivating us, sharing your experiences with us. I hope viewers are now inspired now. And we team EDP wish you all the very best for your further endeavors. Thank you, sir, for today's session. It was great to have talk with you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, and
for your valuable
thank you, and
thoughts,
all the best.
valuable time.
Thank
And
you.
I would like to also thank you for our attendees. I saw that the number which is goes to 90 plus on the participants. And also I would like to thank you to our CVSA PMC Slide Movie Club, which will help to get an online and live session on our YouTube. And so all I would like to thank you all the attendees and participants who will see on YouTube link live this session. And thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring journey, us, for motivating us, and for your valuable time. And I hope
Thank you.
in coming some days, if someone from the slide will be there at Harvard, London Business School, HEC Paris or Institute, then it's not be surprising for you, because in these days we're interacting with the legends like you from the London Business School. Then maybe you are the alumni, one of ours. Thank you so much.
Definitely. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I am Vaibhav signing off for today. Meet you soon with another inspirational talk and motivation talk.
Yeah,
Thank
guys,
you so much.
chat box
जो भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स चैट बॉक्स में एक लिंक प्रोवाइड किया गया, आप उस लिंक पे जाके फीडबैक फॉर्म फिल कर दे, और जैसे आप लोग फीडबैक फॉर्म सबमिट करेंगे आपका सर्टिफिकेट आपके मेल पे प्रोवाइड हो जाएगा. प्लीज गो थ्रू द लिंक.
फॉर ऑल द सर्टिफिकेशन पर्सपेक्टिव, चैट बॉक्स में हम लोगों ने लिंक डाला हुआ है, वहां पे आपको गूगल फॉर्म फिलअप करना है. उसके बाद आपको आपके ईमेल पे विद इन 2 और 3 बिजनेस डेज आपको आपका सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाएगा. And we will check exact the people number. Okay, so don't forward this link external from this channel. Don't forward in your WhatsApp groups or your friends. We'll verify all the data from signing into this portal, and all the feedbacks and all the reviews we are receiving on our Google form. After filling this form, you can leave this group. Okay.
Okay,
So our
sir.
session is
Bye.
done.
Thanks. Bye.
अगर आप दूसरे कॉलेज या फिर दूसरे यूनिवर्सिटी से है तो आप अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर की जगह रोल नंबर प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. नो इशू.
नेम ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट में क्या लिखना है?
जो सर्टिफिकेट पे आपका नाम जाएगा वो नाम डालना है वहाँ पे.
मतलब जो मेरा नाम है विपिन.
हाँ, वही डालना है.
ठीक.
जिनके पास रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर नहीं है वो कोई भी नंबर डाल के वहाँ पे आगे बढ़ जाए.
you may leave this meeting as soon as you will be filling this form.